December 18, 2025. It's coming closer and closer to Christmas. For you that celebrate Christmas, and I celebrate Christmas because it's traditional. It's not about Jesus' birth, because he was not born in this time of year. I asked that when I was in Jerusalem, and I asked a guide about it, if Jesus was born in December 24 or 25. And the guide say that it can be very cold here in Jerusalem, in Bethlehem, because so the shepherd are not outside with the sheep. So that's they take it in, and I have described it for you. It was not the guide that told me that they have the not only the sheep, other animals also, all animals inside, because it was cold outside, and they get the warmth from the body of the animals that was inside their home. And they could lay with the animals and get warm around them in the night. So it was important. It was life saving by let the animals be inside the home. And so they did that, and the shepherd was not outside, so it was not in December. It can come snow in Israel in December. So it was not that time when Jesus was born, but the old-time church wanted it to be in this time. And it's nice because in December is it very dark, and it's very nice to have this light up and family together. Those gifts are not so very important, but be together in Christmas time. That is nice, and eat this traditional food. And and I have got home the food I should eat. I want to eat in Christmas time, and I bought also for New Year Eve. And it's different food for me. And the New Year Eve is more snacks, but in Christmas is it real food to eat. It was because of that they needed this heavy stuff of food here in north of Europe, because it was cold. And so they slaughtered their animals in this time, and it became a feast. And in Sweden, in the old time, we have the goats. The goat was coming knocking on the door, and in old time they threw in a coal piece, not any gifts, and ask if the kids have been nice that year. And the Santa, he's coming from Germany, and it was in 1800 when he come to Sweden. It's a little new, this tradition with the Santa. Before that, was it a goat? And that I have a goat under my Christmas tree, because that's a traditional thing to go with a Christmas tree. You in United States, don't have that goat, but we have that with the hay down and a goat, but it's a small one. It's a little symbolic only. It have nothing with Christmas to do more than be a decoration under the Christmas tree. And so I got very much food yesterday, and then also tools for the kitchen that I can't find, and I had that money now that I don't need to stress to find the kitchen tools. And so that's what I'm going to do today, to place those things that I got yesterday that doesn't need to be in the cold. It could stay over the night, where in the bag they come with. And then is it? I read a question on the internet, and these have nothing with Christmas to do. Someone was asking, after we leaving this planet, and the question was, are we still I am? Are we still you and me? And the answer is no, you aren't, because it's going more and more to be. I get the knowledge now. It's open doors for me to understand things that I have not done before. And it is, I have to go back to those times I have been over, and I have left this planet sometimes, and I have to remember what it was after I left this world, and maybe left the planet in that way. And you have listened about hypnosis, but I have more than that to remember. And especially there in 2008, when I suddenly become weak and died for some seconds. And in the it was good that it was in a railway station, so I had people around me and not in my home. And I sit down on a sofa. I could hardly come into it because I'd be more and more weak in my body. But I could sit down, and I couldn't hardly speak. And that is, now when I'm talking about it, I remember that I left my body when I was in Kenya, Africa, also in the morning, and I was in my spirit in Africa, and I understand that I needed to be in the spirit because then I was not frightened about what I saw and heard in Africa. I was by myself and everything could happen. So I left the worldly body and was walking around in the spirit. So what I was telling people in Kenya was the spirit talking to them, and the spirit make me do things. In Africa, the first I did was to take away my clock, arm wrist clock, and gave it to the people that was with me, those African people. I didn't know them, but I gave them the arm wrist clock, like the time didn't matter. And I told them that to tell me when it's time to go back to the airport and fly home. I say, that's the only time you need to have for me, or I don't need a time. That's a spirit thing I say. And then I gave away all the purse, the money, all the money I had. I gave it away to those people. I didn't need money and I didn't need the time. That is a spirit thing. And that's what I living in that way today when I don't have any money. I need to live in the spirit. I have to leave the time. I have to leave the money. And so I have been in the spirit world and not in this body world. And so I can remember as I have, my brain is okay with memories. I can remember everything. And things that was showing me that told me about the spirit, also a spirit world, that I could be in Africa and not be worried, and I didn't have any money, and I didn't know the time either. I know the time in that way that it be total dark because I live outside in a city. I was in a forest. There was no lights. It was only the natural lights of the sun. And there I'd be so surprised that it's going dark almost immediately. It was like switch off a lamp. And but I was not frightened, and they told me that it was running outside in the darkness. There were African lower people like in intelligence. They didn't have any clothes on. They were nude and they were running because it was some kind of intelligence, because they knew the clothes could reveal them. We could see them with clothes on, but with this dark skin, we don't see them. And I didn't go out when it was dark. So I didn't need to be afraid because I was staying inside a home without any door, so they could come in the night in the door and steal things, and they did that. And but I was not afraid, and that is a spirit thing also, that if you are really in the spirit, you are not afraid. There is nothing called fear in the spirit world. So that is something we need to come closer to. We need to come closer to the spirit world and not be worried about what's going on this planet that we can see and hear with our body. Because in a spirit world we don't have a body. They show me, the spirit is showing me bodies and clothes, but it's because they wanted me to know what it's about. Today, if you have followed me, you have heard that from the beginning they were coming with bodies and showing me. But more and more they are not doing that anymore, because they know that I understand that in the spirit world there is not a body. So what this question was about, if we are in the afterlife, in heaven. No, we aren't. And I have told you that I have seen my ex-boyfriends, some of them in heaven, and they showing me body because I needed to know that they were drinking very much, and they were doing drugs. They were criminals and everything on this planet. But when I saw them in heaven, they were young. But I knew it was I saw, even if they were 20, 30 years younger than when I was together with them, did I knew it was them. And that why they showing me that the body is because I come to know that everyone can come into heaven, but there is different layers of generations. They are in different generations that I come to know because of my grandmother come in when my mother was talking to me in heaven. I come up to heaven one night and I met my mother in heaven. And then suddenly my grandmother came in from another layer, and she didn't know about computer because she passed away in 1964. So there were no computer here in Sweden. And so she wondering what it was when it was computers in my mother's layers. And my mother died in 1990, so we had computers in Sweden in that time. But my grandmother didn't know. And so that I understand that she was not in the same time layer. She was in another generation. They maybe was in the same time, but she was in another time layer and could not know computers. If they have been in the same layer, in the same room in heaven, then my grandmother had learned that there was a computer in my mother's time, but she didn't know what it was when she come through. So sometimes I repeat it now, what I was saying in the last episode, that people laugh about heaven and say, oh, so many people have died in many generations from year zero and until now. It can't be impossible that heaven can store all these people, they say. But I tell you, there is layers. And so they are not really meeting each other if not be allowed to come in for some reason to another layer. And so my grandmother come in because God wanted me to understand this knowledge. And so it's maybe it was something, the same thing when I had this vision that I was standing up in the top of many layers of old oak wood. Like it was not really stairs. I didn't see any stairs, but it was layers of oak, old oak. And old oak, it means heaven. And there were like a birthday cake that you put in layers, and it was a lot of layers. And then I was standing in the top of the layers, and there were only me as a woman, and there was maybe 6 men with their suits, black suit and nice clothes on. And they standing and look at each other very proud because they were up in the top of these layers. And I was there, and I was in shame because I was thinking I was not worthy it to be in the top. So I tried to hide me. I saw myself going down, like I want to disappear, but I couldn't, as I was standing on one of these layers. And then God come over our heads, and it was open in the top, and God come down with his voice and talking to us. And suddenly those men that was around me, they fall down, all the layers, down to the bottom. And I was waiting for God to take me down to the bottom of these layers. But he didn't do that. I was standing there in the top when all these men were falling down to the bottom. And that describes very much what have happened now. But I didn't know that in that time I got that vision, that it was almost, I think I have not, it was before I did my DNA. I had only been in Israel twice, I think, when I have this vision. So I was far away to understand what it was, what I saw in the vision. But now, today, I know it. I was the only one that was still staying in the top of the layers. And those other men, they fall down. They were nothing for God to bring in. They have to go down to the bottom layers to learn again. And if they ever learn, or they are running now in the meadow in heaven. And so I have been in a church where it was about drugs. They do church only to get money to get drugs. So there is all kind of so-called churches. And I have been in all of these kind of churches. And that's why I am not believing in any religion anymore. I believe and I know God exists. Or I say the name God, but it's the highest. But the first highest was the Mother of God, the energy that I have met and have seen. And she was talking to me, and everything talking is in telepathy. They are not it's this, I explain this for you now. We are fooled. We are living in an illusion. And I am on my way to walk away from these lies and illusions. But still I am here on earth, and I can say wrong things sometimes when I am in my myself, my earthly me, and not in the spirit. But most of the time I can correct me with it. And it have been you that have followed me. You know that I have been educated the whole way since 2020. And what I did, what I knew in 2020, it's far from what I know today. It has been step by step coming up to this light that I have, and maybe it's soon time for me to go, because I have taught you, I have teach you so very much about heaven and what's going on this planet and in the universe and those things. I don't know how much time I have left, but as it's only time here on earth we have, and the time doesn't exist in heaven. Is it hard to know? Because the more you coming closer to the spirit you, the more years do you have. So, and I was not frightened when I got the letter yesterday. They come from the hospital, and the hospital told me that they need to check out my eyes more often because they have seen something going wrong with my left eye. And it is, I'm not so worried about it, because in the spirit world we don't have our eyes with us, but we can see still. It's another way to see things, and that's maybe why I can see the spirits. They're moving, and when they're coming through, because it's I have my eyes closed and I still can see them. So it's not my eyes I see them with, it's a spirit way to see it. And it is another realm. It's the real truth that we are fooled to live in this body and believe in the body's world. We are the real truth is the spirit, and so So as long as we live in our body, we are living in a lie. We are living in the lie when we are in the body. I repeated it because it's important for you to think about it when you relax and want to come close to God, and you should bring it with you, and maybe you get the real answer of it. But it is just now when I am talking, do I hate my body? Because that's a lie. It's I can see a little shadow on my face, but most of when I look out from my face, and I can't see so much of my body. And in the spirit, when I have been away, when I have coming to heaven, to afterlife, I have not seen my body. And I was thinking of that one time I was standing on this cliff in the cave, and I held out my arms to hold me, but I couldn't get any help of my arms because there were not a real wall. It was the only thing I saw was forward me, in front of my spirit eyes. I saw there were a deep that I could fall in if I should be shaking or something. I have to stand still there on the cliff. I have nothing to hold me in, and there were no more than to standing there, and I didn't have the body, but the memories of the body make me think that I had a body, but I can't remember that I hold into the rock that was behind me. It was only that my brain remembered that I had a body when I standing there. And that's also the proof that the angel that come and told me to only walk over that deep, and it was okay to only walk over because I didn't have a body. That's what the angel was seeing and was telling me. You don't have a body that can fall down in this creek, in the deep. That's what she wanted to tell me. And so I could only... now I say this body word, I step out from that cliff and come over to the other side. But it is, I had not a body to fall with. It was a spirit, and the spirit have no body. So it's showing me this. And you should not be scared when you find yourself to be in the spirit and not have any control over your body or control over what you are saying, because that's a spirit. It's clean from the world. It doesn't talk about what's going on in the world in that way that you live in the world. So this question I read it was in the night I read it, so I couldn't recording it before this morning. And the answer is that we are not ourselves in the spirit, in the afterlife or in the heaven. And we are changed. That is the truth. We are changed because we don't have our body with us. And those that we meet in heaven, they don't see us as not having a body. We get the body when we need the body. And it's taken out from us, the body, when we don't need it. And that's why the angels say in one episode, an angel come and explain how they travel. And she say it's only thinking about a place in the whole universe. And we are there. They don't move with the body. They move with the spirit too, and they have these spirit eyes to could see all these beautiful things. And then is it some in heaven that have their eyes here on earth. The eyes is seeing everything what's going on this planet, but it's not the whole heaven. It's some of these spirits is checking out what we are doing here on this planet. So this is it was a spirit that come out from me. So some of what was telling you now was a spirit in it. I am so close now, so I am almost one with the spirit. So it's hard to know when they coming in, but every time they go out, I can feel it. That's how I know that the spirit was here and now. So that is a lie, that what you hear in the religions. It's like almost laughing about it, because it's a joke that we have the body with us, and some have, like in the Muslims world, they have 7 wives waiting for them if they make a suicide and kill other people. And this is it's I don't say it's the devil that talking to us, because it's belong to God, this with the devil also, because God wants us to come out from those prison of religion and political things. That's why he places us first in prison of what our parents or environment have taught us, we have learned from childhood, and then we need to come out from it. We need to go free from the prison and find the truth on our own, because God's plan is a private plan. It's only for you. It's no one else. You can't follow the other people and think that you are coming closer to God, because God have a plan for each of us. Remember it. God have a plan for you and not for your friend in the same plan. You have met each other for a reason that God wants you to know. And I have told you that I met this girl in the morning in the United States, and she asking me why God let her friend die. And I told her it was maybe not supposed that you should meet her, but God wanted you to meet her, to learn from what she did and how she was, that make her be killed. And because this was not any accidentally, it was acting of her, that girl, that make her be killed. And you should learn from how she was to not do the same thing, to not act like her. So she was someone God wanted you to meet, for you to learn from what was going on with her and why she was killed. It was something placed for you to learn from, not to copy. Not to copy. You should not copy anyone. You are the original from God, and not a copy of someone else. You are meant to come to understand everything in the spirit, about the spirit world on your own, because you can sit now and listen at my podcast with someone else, and that other person understand it different from what you understand here. You say, oh, now I understand, you say to your friend, and your friend is telling you that it's not right of her that she has said. She's maybe say I am on drugs and see things, or am mental sick like this, and she tried to convince you to go away from the plan. And because she is not in in the same God's plan as you are. You are God's original person, and he talking to you, and he's not maybe not talking to your friend, he's not talking to your mother, he's not talking to anyone more than you. Just now, as now it's a spirit I have coming now. It was this spirit that is telling you that you are the original of God. And remember that. Have that in your mind. That is one big step to be in the spirit. Let the world talking to you, but don't bring it inside you. You can be in the world, but not be involved in the world. Let it be outside of you. Don't bring it inside you, because God have a plan for you. Is the Spirit saying now to you? The Spirit touch you now. You are the original of God's good people. You will follow the plan. As sometimes you maybe fall out because the world tried to take you, but you are the original of God's children. Thank you, God. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for the answer we have got in this episode. And God bless you all that listen and follow me.